Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I created the cross for Dreaming Trees Village Church. So basically the cross is going to be attached to this piece. So let me show you how I determined the width of the actual cross. So let me zoom in here a little bit. Move these a little bit to the side. So basically the cross is going to sit in this space right here on the very top of the roof. So if I go to the ruler tool, which is the second one from the bottom, I can just take my mouse and I can draw this across, and it's going to say up here, it's kind of hard to see, I apologize, but it is 0.36. So it's 0.36 of an inch wide. So I want to make sure that the width of my cross is not more than 0.36. And I probably will make it a little bit smaller than that. I might go maybe 0.33 because I want to make sure that it actually fits. So let's open a new window, and we're going to grab our rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a rectangle. Now I already decided, let's make this a little bit, there we go. So I've already decided that I wanted this 3 inches tall. So if I go down here, I can make the height 3 inches. However, I do want to make sure that I have a little bit to glue to the roof. So I think I'm going to make it 3¼ so that I have 1/4 of an inch that I can glue to the bottom. And the width is what we determined in the prior step, which is 0.33. So that is my width and height of my cross here. So now we need to make the cross section. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and I wanted this to be 2 inches wide. So we'll make that 2 inches wide. I'm going to uncheck the keep proportion, and I'm going to make this the same 0.33. There we go. And I'm going to highlight, oops, undo. I'm going to take my selection tool, highlight everything, and then I'm going to use my align tools to make sure that that cross is aligned perfectly. And it is. And at this point you can go ahead and adjust where you would like that cross part to be. It's personal preference. I kind of like it about there. So that's perfect. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go to path. I'm going to go to union. So now this is just one piece. All right, so I want to go ahead and make a little mark at the 3-inch mark, and that's going to let me know what to glue to the top of the church. So let's zoom in here and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Let's just draw our rectangle around here and get that sized up. And now I'm going to highlight the cross, and under the position and size, I'm going to change these both to 0. And you'll see that it moves it to the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to click on this and zoom in a little bit further so we can see. All right, I'm going to turn on my get my selection tool again. I'm going to go to the top, the white part of the ruler, and I'm going to drag this down to 3 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just an estimate. And this is the piece that's going to be glued to the top of the church. So let's go ahead and open our library. Basic shapes. Let's grab the line tool, and we're going to change that line. Right now the width is a little over 1 inches. We want to make that pretty small, so let's change that to 0.15. There we go. And let's bring this down to, let's see, that looks right. Let's zoom in a little bit further. Yep, that is right where it needs to be. Let's turn off our guidelines. So view, guidelines, clear. Perfect. Now let's just center all of this. So if I highlight these in my layers panel, holding my shift key down, and I'm going to do it to selection. I'm going to align to selection, and we're going to align that horizontally. You'll see that that's right in the middle. So that's just an indication for where my where I will glue. I'll glue this piece to the church. So let's group that. I'm just going to go to Object and Group. So that is grouped together. Now let's view, fit to window. Perfect. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this because I want this to be 2 layers. So I can just do copy, paste. So now that's 2 layers. So these are going to be glued together. And now I want to make some offsets to make this a little bit more dimensional. Now the easiest way is, let's do edit paste. There's a couple ways you can do it. I like doing it this way. Let's just zoom in here. Now I don't want the bottom part for this, so let's just turn our eraser tool on. We'll make it a square. Just make sure your square is larger than the width of the cross. A little bit large, a little bit. There you go. So now I've erased that bottom piece. Perfect. I'm going to go highlight this one. I'm going to go to Effects. I'm going to go to Shadow Layer. I'm going to leave it on Shadow. Miter doesn't matter when you're just on Shadow. And I'm going to do Inset. So it's going to move to the inside. And I'm going to change this to a different color so that you guys can see. Let's make it black. So that is that. So this is the offset. So depending on how much you want it to offset, I like 0.050. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click OK. And so there you have this one. And now I want to offset it one more time. So I'm going to go to Effects and Shadow Layer. Let's just make this one red so you guys can see. And I'm going to do Inset. And again, 0.050. And OK. And so I don't need this one anymore. And let's view everything back on screen. So these two, the 2 gray ones right now are going to be glued on top of each other. And then these 2 will be glued on top of here. So if I were to center all these, there you go. Let's zoom in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change all of these to be the same color. So I'm just going to highlight everything. I'm going to make the stroke, I don't want a stroke on any of these, and the fill color, I want it to be all the same color. I'm going to cut all these in white anyways. So there you go. There are your layers. I hope this was helpful.